for tomorrow's game. For them to even be stuck in that, it depends on, Delhi then beating Rajasthan if they can do it tomorrow. That's tough because Rajasthan has been playing some amazing cricket. They had that loss a few days ago by just one run out. How difficult is it? And we were talking about it the other day, Polly, as well. Sometimes these one-run last ball losses are tougher to get over than a 25-run loss.
Yeah, they are. But because of the situation they're in, it's like, okay, well, we can deal with the little blips. I think the key for them is actually to get some really close encounters because it looks like they qualified almost already.
Yeah.
So the more tough games they get in as they head towards the back end of the tournament is better preparation for them and what they want. But I think they'll be a little bit disappointed that they were, if you require 6 off the last and you don't do it, or 4 off the last, you don't do it. But basically just 1 to get a super over and 2 to get over the line and you get a full toss. It will have left a bit of an ugly taste in the mouth.
Yeah, they've been on the receiving end of these last ball one-run things a few times, right? But they shake it off, and tomorrow they, of course, will be incentivized to win because they've had that top spot for 5 weeks now, and then you lose that top spot even for 2-3 days. It just makes you a little, and you want the top 2. So they'll want to win and say, all right, just let's put a little breathing room between us and that middle muddle.
Yeah, I think it almost goes down to a bit of pride as well, that out of all of these games, after the league stages, playing in so many different places, we've come out on top.
Yeah.
Before we get into finals, and before you get 2 bites of the cherry, all of that type of stuff. There is something very proud about, hey, we've finished past the post first, right?
Yeah.
Now it's the business end. Now it's almost an even playing field. Doesn't matter where you finish to a certain degree because it comes down to eliminators, right? But there is something about this side that they're just not happy with mediocre performances or losing every now and again. And even some of the 2 post-match presentations that Sanju has had to do after he's lost, he's like, well, I don't know how to tell you that. We just literally lost off the last ball. How do I dissect that game? So it's quite interesting, his take on it. So I think he's the type of guy that feels the losses. Yeah. So I think that week, I think it's important for them that they've got these 2 games. They've got Delhi and Chennai, and then they go to Guwahati, who, for their home games is something completely different as well, because they were so good at it back at Jaipur.
Yeah.
That they've changed their home ground. So this game and the next game are really important for them.
Which game was the other game they lost? I'm trying to remember it.
They lost to GT.
Yeah.
Badly or?
By 3 wickets.
Off the last ball.
That was the one which Rahul Tewatia and Rashid Khan won for them again of the last ball.
Yeah,
if you remember the last over, they had 1 fielder in.
Yeah.
And Rashid kind of hit the first ball square leg where there was a hole where there would have been a fielder. And then won it for them in the last.
Yeah, so if you look at their performance, they've had 10 games, they've lost 2, and both of them was the last ball.
Correct.
So they haven't had a rank bad game at any stage. They've been really good.
Maybe they're thinking like that. Maybe they're like, if you're all supposed to have, because we Indians think that way, right?
Okay.
Was this after the World Cup?
You must have a bad one.
That,
okay.
And that just proved it right. What World Cup? I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, if you want to have a bad day, have it now and get it out of the way. But if you look at the team, I think for Delhi, I think the one question is, there is no question that Jake Fraser-McGurk and Tristan Stubbs both play. Now the question is, David Warner or Shea Hope?
Yeah, well, I think this is where you wonder where Ricky Ponting's head is.
Yeah.
Do you get David Warner in and get him ready to go for the World Cup?
Yeah. Can you take your Australian cap off, please?
I'm just putting it out there, right? But he has said that he wasn't dropped, obviously injured.
Yeah.
And that they're waiting for him to regain fitness and be 100% fully fit to play. So I would imagine a week off, he's probably fit to play. So I would imagine Warner to play.
Okay. So in place of Shea Hope?
Yeah, I don't think Shea Hope hasn't really set the world alight, has he?
Yeah, but the previous one, he did a 40,
he did
I think,
40 off
200.
20.
Yeah. So,
but Warner can do that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to Warner, I must admit. I think he's also, if he's been in Dubai hanging around with Jake Fraser Berserk, then they'll be feeling good vibes.
Yeah.
So they'll be. I think they'll get him back. I honestly do. I think the senior can play. I think he'll.
Okay,
put him.
good point. With their bowling, I guess, they're probably looking at the same bowling. I don't see too many changes happening with them.
I'm surprised Lazard Williams. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I've seen a lot good from him. But would they be maybe interested in going back to Nokia? Or
maybe that
they carry
would be
on?
change.
That could be a possible change. I mean, Lazard hasn't let himself down. It's not like he's been shown to be out of his depth or anything like that. But you just get that feeling that Nokia's maybe got that little bit more X factor. You know, where
So who's wearing what cap?
well, they're both from South Africa. So what difference does it make?
No, that's my point. I'm talking about the Aussies. You're talking about
But I'm
South
saying
Africa.
one might be dropped and one might be replaced. It's you trying to kick a West Indian out. It's
Yeah. Actually, good point. Okay, carry on.
Who is not in the T20 team anyway. So that's fine.
Lazard's not.
Yeah.
Shea Hope is not in the T20 team. Okay, let's have a look at the Rajasthan team. The Rajasthan team will make no changes. Let's move on. Okay, no, let's show it to you. Yeah, there you go. They're not there. Their bowling unit is tight. They've got Avesh, Sandeep, Trent Bolt, and they've got the spinners in Ashwin and Chahal. The batters have all done the job. They've all, different batters picked up their hand in a different game, and that's what you love. It's just, Lisa, it's just looking settled. It's looking set. It's looking cruising. They, as Polly just pointed out, they've not had a bad day.
No, you're right. The only headache is that Joss Butler has to leave.
Yeah.
So when do they bring Tom Collar-Cadmore in? Or are they literally, as soon as Butler's not available, they bring him in? That's a big ask.
I think they'll do it as soon as they're guaranteed of qualification at 1 or 2.
Really? Okay.
I think it would make sense, and I think it's good about building relationships, and it might not sound what the fans want to know or hear, is but if they do get to a stage where they're in 1 and 2, it makes sense if the English guys are going home, and also it makes sense from a relationship perspective with Butler. You know, he's got a lot of cricket coming up, so you just say to him, thank you, buddy, you've done your job, you've got us into the top 2. We really appreciate it. We're going to just give you a few more days at home.
So, player to watch out for from each team.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Ashwin.
Ash, good choice.
The
professor.
He's been struggling. He hasn't picked up as many wickets as he would like. So if they're going to win the tournament, he has to play his role with the ball.
From the other team?
Other team, Warner.
So you've picked him, have you?
I picked him.
Okay,
He's picked him and given him player of the match. Done.
Sandeep Sharma, I think he's been great. I've really enjoyed watching him. And, you sometimes think, guys with lesser pace, can they still do a job? He's shining. He's going great. So I want to see how he gets on again tomorrow. And Fraser Berserk, I want to see how he gets on. I haven't seen much of him live. I've caught a couple of games. But I want to see what he can do tomorrow.